Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Usain Bolt loses his triple Olympic gold title. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Wednesday, January 25 from the CMC News Center in Bridgetown. I'm Ricardo Roberts. Good evening. Jamaican sprint superstar Usain Bolt now only has 8 Olympic gold medals. He has been stripped of one of the 9 he won after the International Olympic Committee confirmed Wednesday that his 4x100 relay teammate Nesta Carter tested positive at the Olympics in Beijing for a banned substance. Bolt, along with Carter, Michael Frater and Asafa Powell, had clinched gold in a world record time of 37.10 seconds at the Bird's Nest Stadium back in 2008. The victory capped an outstanding games where Bolt also swept both sprints. It was also the first time of 3 times that he would win gold in all 3 events at successive Olympics. And of course, we'll have more on that story, including reactions from the chairman of the Regional Anti-Doping Organization later on in our Newsline Sportscast. In other news now, Mexico-based giant Cemex says it has acquired enough shares to take control of Trinidad Cement Limited TCL after shareholders accepted its latest offer made earlier this month. The company said it would pay in excess of $79 million to take control of the company, which has operations in Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica and Barbados. Cemex said based on the latest information, the shares deposited by TCL shareholders together with the existing shareholding of its subsidiary Sierra represents approximately 67.39% of the outstanding TCL shares. Chief Executive Officer Fernando Gonzalez said his company was satisfied with and grateful for the trust placed in it by TCL stakeholders, and he assured it was committed to being a reliable cement supplier in Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Barbados, and the whole CARICOM region. Cemex has offered 76 US cents per share after initially putting a 67% share offer on the table. But the TCL directors had argued that the offer was below the commercial value of the company and advised shareholders to hold on to their stocks. A victory in the Tobago House of Assembly elections on Monday could turn out to be a future loss for head of the Public Service Association President Watson Duke. Duke was one of 2 candidates from his Progressive Democratic Patriots who won seats in the 12-member THA. And while he says he intends to stay at the helm of the PSA, even as he serves in the Tobago House of Assembly, there is a move afoot to force him to go.
I'm not giving it up at all. I am not giving up the position.
And the fact is, he doesn't have to step down from his presidency. There's nothing in the THA Act or Representation of the People's Act to debar him from leading only the largest union in the country. But that's not stopping opponents from calling for Duke's presidency. Oral Saunders, former PSA General Secretary, who once served alongside Duke, tells us the membership has given certain leaders instructions to get machinery in place to have Duke removed.
The PSA's president's job is a full-time and a very demanding job. He has taken no pay leave from WASA to perform a full-time job in the PSA, and now he has taken time off from the PSA to do another full-time job in the Tobago House of Assembly.
They intend to challenge his reign in November when the union election is due. In the meantime, the union's constitution does not bar executives from politics.
The framers of the constitution of the PSA never envisaged that a sitting president could be preoccupied with any other job.
But Mr. Saunders says there is disparity in the publicly funded salaries to be received by Duke. He questions Duke's ability to serve both masters. But here are some of the estimates we came across. One source at the PSA tells us the union boss's salary approximates as $35,000. And according to the Salary Review Commission, the THA minority leader in 2013 received just over $16,000. But both appointees are eligible to similar perks like housing, traveling, and entertainment allowances. It may be too soon to tell, but Duke has until November to convince the thousands of members he can serve dual roles.
And that report from Uvashi Tuwari Rupnarayan of CNC3 News. Jamaica's Contractor General Dirk Harrison is blasting successive governments for repeatedly turning a blind eye to reports from his office and other agencies of possible improprieties and corruption. He was speaking at the private sector of Jamaica's President's Forum on Tuesday, where he called on authorities to take the issue of corruption seriously.
Only when persons stop short of what happens oftentimes of blocking a road and saying we want justice. This seems to be the only thing that both successive governments respond to, nothing else. So time and time again, the OCG will issue reports, the Auditor General issue reports. They're placed into File 13. Nobody listens.
Harrison said sustained economic growth in Jamaica will not be a reality unless political parties back up their talk with anti-corruption action.
The same thing is being done over and over again, and you're getting the same result. Why is there no change? So one begs the question, do we really want change?
Tragedy in the Turks and Caicos Islands as the bodies of 10 Haitians were discovered on Tuesday. A spokesman for the Turks and Caicos Police Force, Kevin Clark, said lawmen found at least 5 of the bodies ashore after being called to a secluded area of Providenciales about people running into the bushes on the northwest point. Now, immigration and police officers were immediately dispatched, and the U.S. Coast Guard was also called in to help with a massive search. Clark said lawmen know there are survivors, but none have been apprehended so far. A small fishing boat painted in the blue and red colors of the Haitian flag was seen capsized along the beach. Clark said police officers have yet to confirm if that is the boat on which the migrants traveled. And the International Monetary Fund is warning of a challenging economic outlook for Suriname this year. It's projecting a 9% contraction in gross domestic product for 2016, following a 2.7% contraction in 2015. Now, according to the IMF, the drop in international prices for gold and oil and the cessation of alumina production resulted in large fiscal and current account deficits and the onset of a deep recession in 2015. And the Washington-based institution says that was worsened by insufficient buffers and policy responses. And Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit is urging regional and international financial institutions to improve their delivery of funds to developing countries like his. Speaking on the state-owned DBS radio, he said the delay in accessing funding is having an impact on implementing key projects. To support his case, he pointed out that Dominica is still waiting almost 7 years after applying to the Caribbean Development Bank on a project in the Layou Valley area where the government declared an ecological disaster following the collapse of the Matthew Dam in 2011. And still to come in Caribbean, Newsline Barbados moves to ban smoking of e-cigarettes in public. Stay with us.
Straight out of the bodacious and beautiful culture of the Caribbean comes a music and talent competition like no other. Brace yourself for the exciting, entertaining, extraordinary, and new reality docuseries, Icon of the Islands. The story begins in the breathtaking backdrop of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Every year, this is where a wide and diverse range of contestants of all ages and backgrounds audition for a wildly popular and prominent local talent competition. And the ultimate goal for each contestant is to win.
I already have my favorites, but my favorites may not prevail tonight.
Some moments will bring performers to their knees, while some performances will bring fans to their feet. Get ready to see which star will be the last one shining in the spotlight as the stars align this season on Icon of the Islands.
Get ready for the Caribbean's most original carnival, Dominica's Carnival, Mass Dominic 2017, February 4th to the 28th. Revel in the splendor of a masquerade band. Experience the parades, the non-stop fetes, Dominica Nights, Dominiki Do, Mass Dominic, the real mass. Come, revel with us. Visit us online at dominicafestivals.com or call us at 767-255-8221.
The Barbados Parliament has passed legislation to ban the use of e-cigarettes in public places. E-cigarettes are electronic devices that vaporize a flavored liquid, and their use is often cited as a method to help tobacco smokers kick their habit. But Minister of Health John Boyce says he's not buying that, adding that the use of e-cigarettes could be a forerunner to the use of tobacco products. Under the Health Services Amendment Bill, which he introduced to the House of Assembly, the sale of e-cigarettes to minors would also be banned. Minister Boyce also served notice that steps were being taken to have cigarettes packaging graphically illustrate the harmful effects of smoking. St. Kitts began rationing water in the capital on Wednesday as the Federation has been experiencing a significant decline in rainfall. Public Infrastructure Minister Ian Liburd told a town hall meeting on Tuesday night that although rainfall increased by some 35 inches last year, it was still below the average of 55 inches. Water will be rationed from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily. Businesses and individuals are also being asked to undertake some water conservation measures. These include repairing leaks, purchasing large storage containers, and implementing a water management contingency plan. Additionally, businesses are being asked to have on-site standby water storage receptacles. Now, during the rationing period, there should be no watering of grass and no washing of vehicles with water hoses. Anyone found breaching these measures may be fined or have their service disconnected. Now, since taking up office in 2015, the Timothy Harris administration has launched public awareness campaigns to encourage water conservation and also conducted water system improvements in several rural communities. Now, the future of online transportation network Uber in Trinidad and Tobago is up in the air. Officials from the company met with government officials on Tuesday for the first time, although Uber launched its app in the capital Port of Spain as well as San Fernando just over a week ago. Uber officials say they had requested a meeting since November last year. CNC3's Akash Samaru reports.
CNC3 News understands that the Transport Minister told Uber that it was their responsibility to ensure a meeting was granted before setting up operations. But we understand that the goal of today's meeting was not to criticize Uber, but rather to find a way for the service to operate in this country. The main point for the government is that private cars used for hire is an illegal practice, but that wasn't their only concern. The Attorney General told CNC3 that the government also wants Uber to declare certain information, such as their operationality, corporate identification, structures, taxation arrangements, employment contracts, and insurance. Uber has previously maintained that it has insurance with Guardian Holdings. However, we understand that the AG said that if the vehicles are being used for illegal means, then it may invalidate that policy. Concerns were also raised that Uber does not have an office here in Trinidad nor a local liaison. The AG said the government understands the benefits of Uber. However, the company must bring the necessary information before any steps can be taken to discuss regularizing what is referred to locally as PH cars. The government did not tell Uber to halt operations, but underscored the law which says that a private car cannot be used for hire, meaning that an Uber driver can be charged by police.
Ministers of energy from around the region are gathered in the Bahamas this week to discuss plans to improve the sector. We get more in this report from ZNS Network News in Nassau.
The nation's leader says the cost of energy in the Bahamas is way too high, and they continue to look at alternative sources of energy as a means of cutting costs.
We now have in place a private entity in the management of our electricity company that applies to the Bahamas other than in Freeport and Grand Bahama. We have proposals before us, and it is my hope that in the very near future we would be able to respond to those proposals and to have the benefit of those proposals experienced positively by our people.
Minister of the Environment, the Honorable Kenred Dorset, explained why a forum of this magnitude is so important to the sector's growth.
It's an opportunity to check where we are as a region in terms of moving forward for renewable energy future. It gives us an opportunity to discuss individual country challenges, and also for us to learn from each other so that we don't find ourselves reinventing the wheel when it comes to addressing some of our nation's challenges. And so for the Bahamas, we were able to use this forum as a means by which we were able to learn of some of the mistakes that other Caribbean countries made in terms of advancing their regulatory framework and their policy. And it helped us immensely in crafting our own. And as you know, we now have our own national energy policy. We've amended the Electricity Act.
And ahead in Newsline Sport, reaction to the International Olympic Committee's decision to strip Jamaica of its 2008 Olympic 4x100 meter relay gold. Stay with us, sport is next.
Round Hay Pharmacy now has 2 locations to fill your prescriptions promptly and efficiently. Our branch at One Accord Plaza is open daily, including Sundays and bank holidays. Also, check out our new drive-through location at Warren's Healthcare Complex in Michael, the first and only drive-through pharmacy in Barbados. For more information, call Round Hay One Accord Plaza at 421-7863 and our new drive-through branch at Warren's in Michael at 424-5574.
Ready for the Caribbean's most original carnival, Dominica's Carnival, Mass Dominic 2017, February 4th to the 28th. Revel in the splendor of a masquerade band. Experience the parades, the non-stop fetes, Dominica nights, Dominiki do, Mass Dominic, the real mass. Come, revel with us. Visit us online at dominicafestivals.com or call us at 767-255-8221.
Handwriting that is vertical, straight up and down, shows that they rule by their head and not their heart. Handwriting that pulls back to the left shows that the person is more withdrawn and reserved.
No,
it doesn't mean that they're left-handed. That's the
I was
biggest,
just going to say, no, that looks like someone who is left-handed.
Left-handedness has no concept to us.
The International Olympics Committee announced Wednesday that Jamaica men's 4x100 meter relay team has been stripped of its 2008 Olympic gold medal after sprinter Nesta Carter was found to have used a banned substance during those games in Beijing. And it means that Trinidad and Tobago men's 4x100 relay team, which came in second, will be awarded the Olympic gold medal. It also means that Usain Bolt has lost his record of having won triple gold in the past 3 Olympics. And Carter is likely to face a ban from the sport, but he has 21 days to appeal the IOC's judgment. The IOC said the medalist pins and diplomas the sprinters got after their victory have been withdrawn and must be returned. It has requested the IAAF to modify the official results of the race. And in an immediate response to the IOC's announcement, the IAAF said it will retest samples from other events in which Carter participated. The World Athletics governing body says once the IOC's case and any appeal is concluded, the IAAF will take it to the Jamaican Federation to determine Carter's sanction beyond this disqualification. This means that the IAAF will review Carter's world records in the 2011 World Championships and the 2012 London Olympics. Carter also gained silver in the 2007 World Champs and bronze in the 100 meters at the 2013 World Championships in Russia. And joining us on the line is Dr. Adrian Lord, chairman of the Regional Anti-Doping Organization. Dr. Lord, good evening.
Good evening.
Your reaction to the decision by the IOC to strip Jamaica of the relay team of the 2008 Olympic gold medal?
Well, the IOC is just following the rules of the sport. At the Olympics, if the a sample is tested positive, then that athlete loses that medal. In this situation, in 2008, when the Jamaican team, 4x1 team, won that race, methylhexanamine, which is a substance, a stimulant, which was on the prohibited substance, was not easily detected and was not detected at all. The IOC now uses a statute of limitation of 10 years and retested 453 samples. And in one of the samples tested positive, there was also a Russian field athlete that was tested positive, but Nestor Carter was found positive of this methylhexanamine. So that's the rules of the game, and we will have to go with it as stated.
Dr. Lord, I understand that the substance was in some of the medication Carter took, and at the time it was not on the list of banned substances. Now, how do you treat with that in light of this situation, and is there grounds for Carter to appeal the decision?
If that was so, he could have appealed, but it's not so. Methylhexanamine was on the list since 2004, and it was put on the list in a special class called specified substance in 2011. So it was actually on the list and was being tested for in 2008. However, the tests were not sensitive enough to reveal anything at that time. And the reason for the IOC keeping samples for 10 years is that if technology develops to detect substances that were on the list at the time and prohibited, then sanction can be granted. So the substance actually was on the list, and that statement is erroneous.
Okay. Well, what implications will this have for regional athletes? Does it mean there will be greater scrutiny for athletes' participation, especially in future events?
We in the Caribbean Regional Anti-Doping Organization, we cover 17 countries in the region. Jamaica has their own anti-doping organization. We are all about protecting the rights of the clean athlete. And we have been doing testing prior to the 2016 Olympics. A lot of our athletes, not only in track and field, but in other sports, were tested prior to the games. So there would not be necessarily greater scrutiny, but I think we need to educate our athletes and the entourage as to what is on the list and what is not, and what you should take and what you should not. You mentioned that it was in medication. Methylhexanamine was up until 1970 put in medication, is no longer on medication. It was used in nasal decongestant, but it's suspected, and the cases that have been found positive were in supplements. And athletes have to be warned against taking any supplements, because on the labels are not necessarily what is inside the bottle. What you see is not also what you get. You may get and see there may be things in the bottle that is not on the label. And this is a concern to International Olympic Committee and international federations and athletes of themselves. And we in the Caribbean RADO, we recommend to our athletes, do not take supplements at all. Eat natural foods, drink lots of liquids, and perform naturally.
Lord, we'll have to leave it there, so we'll get back to you on, I'm sure we could reach you once there are more developments coming from this story today. Thank you very much, Dr. Lord.
You're welcome.
Meanwhile, the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, Brian Lewis, issued a statement saying that the TTOC has not at this time received any official communication from the International Olympic Committee in respect to the Trinidad and Tobago Beijing 2008 Olympic Games men's 4x100 meter relay team. Now, according to Lewis, he believes it is premature of the TTOC to speculate on any upgrading of the Trinidad and Tobago Beijing 2008 Olympic Games men's 4x100 relay team medals from silver to gold. He says the IOC has its protocols and procedures in respect to medal upgrades. He said, as such, we have taken note of the IOC Disciplinary Commission decision and official press release. Lewis said it is always a disappointing and an unfortunate situation when an athlete from any country is embroiled in such a situation, and more so, a Caribbean athlete. He said the TTOC, like all in the Olympic movement, must adhere to the principles and standards pursuant to the Olympic Charter, and in particular, Rule 59.2.1 thereof, and pursuant to the IOC anti-doping rules applicable to the Games of the 29th Olympiad in Beijing 2008, and in particular, but without limitation, to Articles 2, 5.1, 6.5, 7, 8, 9, and 10 thereof. The TTOC boss says they will fully cooperate with the IOC and look forward to a quick resolution. And world sprint champion Usain Bolt is saddened by this latest development. The decision takes some of the shine off his heroics in Beijing, the meet at which he first shot to prominence. It was at these games he rewrote the records in both the 100 and 200 meters, posting new times of 9.69 seconds and 19.30 seconds respectively. Bolt said, quote, "It's heartbreaking because over the years you've worked hard to accumulate gold medals and work hard to be a champion, but it's just one of those things. Things happen in life, so when it's confirmed or whatever, if I need to give back my gold medal, I have to give it back. It's not a problem for me," end quote. Now, Bolt has already announced he will not run in Tokyo 2020 and is expected to wrap up his career at the London World Championships later this year. That's the sport. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-25.
That's Caribbean Newsline. Join us again tomorrow for more news and sports. Good afternoon. Good evening.